Ashley knows, but Ashley is saying nothing about her daughter, Melodee. Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us tonight, criminal defense attorney, former head New Jersey County prosecutor Bob Bianchi, and national parenting and family relationship expert Dr. Sue Kornbluth. Great to have you both here. We're trying to get Rick King in the mix here. Let me ask you, Bob, legally, is there any way to compel this woman to tell the world where her daughter is?
As a prosecutor who's handled cases like this, Vinny, at certain points in times, you got to brute force your way into a situation. You cannot let a child who no one knows where they are, has been traveling over a significant place and period of time, whose parent is mentally ill, a single parent, no one there to care for the kid, the school's concerned, the community's concerned, the sheriff's concerned. As a prosecutor, I would start using brute force. You need to bring her in. You need to detain her. You may need to get a mental health situation going on there as to whether or not there's some sort of involuntary commitment. I know that's going to get some very upset, but the bottom line here is I'm concerned about a child and a child's well-being. And if I have to file charges for endangering the welfare of a child, which doesn't require that I show actual harm in the state of California, that's what I'm going to do. Bottom line is I need some top skilled level police officers and detectives and some mental health professionals that are going to approach her and bring her in, and let's start getting some answers. This is not a time to play games. The clock is ticking.
Dr. Sue Kornbluth, is there a way to get through to this mother and have her voluntarily just provide the information? I believe this child very well could be alive tonight.
Well, Vinny, if somebody is going to go in there and intervene and try to get her to open up, they have to approach her in a very caring, kind, compassionate, and empathetic way. If they go in there and they are accusatory of this mother, she is not going to open up at all. So the way to approach her would be with compassion, concern, care, to get her on board to start cooperating, to open up as to where her daughter is. That would be the approach that a psychological professional would need to take here.
Also joining us, we've got him.
With that though, Vinny.
One second, Bob. I just got to bring Rick into the mix. We've connected. Joining us, former police lieutenant, trial attorney Rick King. All right, Rick, let's get your take, and then we're going to go at it here. Bob's going one way. Dr. Sue seems to be going a different way. Former police lieutenant, also criminal defense attorney at this point. But, Rick, what are your thoughts about how you get this mother to provide the most important information, the only thing we care about, which is where Melodee is?
I mean, I think I agree with Bob in the sense that you got to start being aggressive with her. You got to bring her in. Clearly, you have some sort of criminal charges because you wrote a search warrant. So if you have a search warrant, there's probable cause for some crime you're saying happened. If you have probable cause for a crime, then you should make an arrest. Something. You need something to bring her in, to put the pressure on her to start finding out where the baby is, because that's what we care about right now.
Go ahead, Bob. I know you wanted to jump in there before. Let it fly.
Yeah. I mean, you know, listen, we get to a point where we all want to throw up a peace sign and be kumbaya. That has not worked here. You cannot continue to wait while this child may be in jeopardy and you have a recalcitrant, reluctant, and unwilling participant in helping us identify where her child is. At a certain point in time, you got to pull the Band-Aid off, and the nice game has to end and the hard game has to begin. It's already past due, if you ask me, Vinny.
This is not about pulling off a Band-Aid, though, Bob. This is about dealing with somebody that has mental health issues. That's what it appears to be. And when you're dealing with somebody that has mental health issues, you have to be very caring towards them in order to get them to open up with information. I'm not saying that you don't haul her in. I agree with that. But once she's there, you're not going to probably get a confession out of her if you treat her as though she's guilty already.
To Dr. Seuss,
you're talking about the approach once you get her.
To Dr. Seuss' point, Bob, I think that what she's saying.
You're talking about the approach.
Go ahead, Rick.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I think what she's saying is we're talking tactics once we get her in. I think that the idea is to get her in, and then once she's in, then there's tactics. There's a way you talk to someone with mental health problems. You don't come and you don't beat them over the head with a hammer. You try to talk to them and you appeal to whatever it is you think that they're going to respond to. It's not going to be a situation where it's bad guy. Maybe it's good guy, bad guy. Maybe it's something.
Let me ask you this, guys. Let me ask you this. Is there a problem, though, if you haul her in, the lawyer's going to jump in, is going to shut her down? Is that a potential problem? Is there any way around that? If you arrest her, charge her, she gets the public defender shuts it down. What do you do, Bob?
Yeah, Vinny, listen, I mean, first of all, I'm not talking about taking her in and hitting her over the head with a rubber hose. Of course, you try to go in there with the right approach and the best people, and there are certain people that are better at it than others, and even have mental health providers there. What I'm talking about is you need to bring her in, and the bottom line here is if someone's constitutional, I know I'm going to say something very controversial here, okay, but it's a reality. If somebody's constitutional rights get a little fuzzy in terms of them trying to seek information and maybe it violates Miranda, well, that means the statement gets suppressed. The bottom line here is the health and safety and welfare of the child. So if I were the prosecutor, I'd be so be it if we're on a line. That's what I'm most concerned about. The prosecution is secondary.
Yeah, don't worry about the charges and the prosecution. Worry about the child first, who could be in danger and might be able to be saved. All right, we're going to stay on this story. We'll talk more about it during the week.